Alright everyone, welcome to Tomahawk DIY. Today we're taking a look at a Canon PowerShot SD1400 digital ELPH digital camera. I've been using this camera for, I don't know, maybe 6 months now, and it's proved to be a decent little camera. A few things I'm not crazy about on it, but let me give you a review and tell you what I think. Make up your own mind. First, the size of the camera. This is a simple point and shoot, rather small, fits quite nicely in a pocket. Doesn't feel too unobtrusive or overly large. Also, it doesn't feel so small that you're worried about it disappearing or losing it. Few features to point out on the camera. It has a nice, not a touch screen, but a nice viewing window in the back. Basic buttons, display button, menu button, these circular 4-directional plus a center button. Switch right here that's a up-down lever between video, still, and auto mode. And your quick play button so you can easily jump to review pictures or images that you took. Has an audio visual out. This also has HDMI capabilities here, HDMI and USB ports right there. Came with a basic strap for the camera. I've added a little sticker here with a label. You can do that kind of thing to make sure if you ever lose it, maybe someone will call you or let you know they found your camera. On the top there's a couple buttons here. I believe this is speaker and microphone. The on-off button, and then a mode button to switch between a couple different modes right here. And there's your button to take pictures and video and such. The front of the camera, you've got a sensor here, flash, and the lens with a nice little cover. Let's turn this puppy on. Well, before we do that, let's take a look at the bottom. You've got your card slot that opens with a simple slide. I quite like the way that opens. Seems pretty secure, works well. You have the battery and SD card slot. And battery is typical Canon battery. Pull it out to recharge it. And the recharger comes with the camera. SD card, just basic usual SD card. A little bit of a spring on it, very easy to get in and out. And a tripod. Spot. So let's look at the camera. If you turn it on, you see it pop open. Seems to work quite well. The zoom here, that's this lever on the top. I should have mentioned that earlier. So you can zoom out and zoom in. Doesn't have an amazing zoom, but it's not too bad. For a real basic point and shoot, it's 4x. So the camera, you can view it on the back. It's got a number of different modes. I won't go through that. You can look it up on the website, but everything from your macro mode to your landscape. You can control the flash, all the usual features. So in a nutshell, this is the Canon PowerShot SD1400 digital ELPH series. My wife and I had an older version of this camera in years past. We really loved that older version. One complained about this version, from our older one, I forget the exact number of that. It was maybe maybe 400 or 350, something like that. This one doesn't feel quite as sturdy. For example, this got dropped once on the asphalt. Somehow, when it hit the ground, it popped the casing here. The casing doesn't want to secure back, so it seems to be more than just having popped a tab. It seems like maybe it broke a tab or something, because there's just a little gap here. That kind of worries me. That when if I was out in very light rain or something and got just a touch of water down in there, it might find its way in the camera and damage it. So I was quite disappointed about that. The older model of digital ELPH that we had was more sturdy and certainly got dropped a number of times without having any particular damage. And this, as near I can tell, was the first time we dropped it that it broke here. So in general, I'm not sure I'd buy this SD1400 digital ELPH, given the choice again. However, that said, I really liked the historic version, or the older version of the digital ELPH that we had. Really liked the Canon, liked their functionality, the features. Some things that I quite like is the ability to use a timer and set the timer to do a multiple burst mode, where you can program it and say take 5 or take 6 or 8 or 10 consecutive shots on the timer mode. That can be very helpful if you have a group of people or children. You just want to bang out a number of shots all at once, and then you can take a look and pick the best 1 or 2 from those that you get, rather than running back and forth between the camera and the group as you're using a timer. The image quality on it, it's nothing to write home about. Certainly not horrible. Video quality is acceptable, and generally a decent little camera. Again, disappointed about the way this broke here. I'd probably look for something different. Next time I buy a camera, you can check out my review of a Nikon here. But that's this Canon digital ELPH. And